Can you tell we're a little excited? Governor, now that is the entrance from Florence County on economic development. I can tell you right there. I want to give a special shout out to the school district. As you look to your left, you see Wilson High School, and these future students are going to be driving past this advanced manufacturing facility every day with an opportunity to really change their lives and have a career path as they finish high school. So it's very exciting and fitting. So I want to thank Dr. O'Malley and Porter Stewart and, of course, Dr. Robinson. Can we get a nice round of applause for them? Please, gentlemen, have your seat. So we want to obviously recognize what a milestone we have in front of us. And when you kind of look at a milestone as a true turning point, an advancement of technology that impacts our state, our region, and our community. And that's what this is. This weather today, I think Senator Leatherman and James Schofield are looking down and shining on this weather for all of their efforts to get us here. My job this morning is to kind of recognize the importance of this stage and the individuals that are on it. Governor McMaster, clearly thank you for all of your efforts. Jeff Deaton, Managing Director, Secretary Lightsey. There's a couple of people that could actually be up here in stage limited, but Daniel Young, John Baggett with the Department of Commerce, Cindy Turnipseeds, there's so many folks. Mayor, your team has been phenomenal at the city and at the county. Willard and Rocky, we are so fortunate to have all of this activity in our community and in our state. We are in unprecedented times. Some of the special guests that I want to recognize, so bear with me, we have a big room. But the special guests are, of course, the AESC team, the Mullis team, Mike and Denise and Keith. You guys are phenomenal. They are premier site selectors. They are here with us today. Without their dedicated approach, this would not have happened in our community or our state. Can't thank them enough for their honesty, their objectivity, and their dedication to being global site consultants. Ken Srebnick, the administration for AESC, our BMW representatives, Oliver Haas and Thomas Leidert, thank you for being here. Of course, we have property owners. A lot of times people don't realize how important that is. This site is 900 plus acres, and we have a lot of property owners that are here with the developers that got this site to this stage. It is countless folks over the last decade that has got us to this point. And I think that kind of resonates when we kind of look at it. And I want you to see the scale of the site because it will be a new technology campus. And we're very excited about that because it has a lot of opportunities. We want to thank you for working with us to assemble this massive tent structure. I want to thank the staff and everyone for doing that. But let's talk about program highlights real quick. When we look at a transformational project, we have a number of them that are going on in our state, and this is the largest in the Eastern Carolinas in the history of the Eastern Carolinas. And so it's a transformational opportunity for us. This impact is committed to be 1,170 high-paying jobs and $810 million in capital, but we know that that is just the beginning, and we're very excited about that. When you look to your left and you see Wilson High School, I was talking with Sean Brashear the other day, our Director of Planning. I said, Sean, how big is Wilson High School? And he said, well, let me look on the map. So he pulled it up. He goes, that's about 170,000 square feet, give or take. This plant will be 8.8 times bigger than Wilson High School. Let that sink in as you look at these renderings of the actual buildings themselves. So partners that made this happen and the impact of teamwork. Our federal delegation. I saw both our legislative delegation of our House members, Fry and Clyburn, are here, and we're so excited to have them. I know Senator Scott's office was planning to be here as well, Graham and Scott. Our state legislative delegation. House got called back in, Senate's here, but the fact is we have representatives that are here from our legislative delegation, and I want to thank them for their commitment to commerce, their commitment to economic development and giving us the tools necessary to win. Florence County Council and Leadership. Our former administrator, Rusty Smith, our new county administrator, Kevin Yoakum, played a critical role, city, county, working together to make this truly happen. I'd already mentioned Sean Brashear, but I also want to thank Sandy Watford, who was Director of Stormwater Management. These things just don't happen very quickly. But I want to let the BMW representatives and the AESC representatives know that we turned that stormwater permit around in less than a month. And that's warp speed. And so we're real excited about that. Our city council has been phenomenal. The Public Works Department, Michael Hemingway, Randy, and administration, Osterman, thank you for your commitment to making this site a reality. Our regional economic development, I want you to think about the region and the impact that it's going to have on the future workers. Nisa and Jeff, I know you're here. Your team has been excellent to work with, and we're excited about the next stages of that. As we kind of go down into our educational partners, these are hard to recognize because they're so critical to the efforts, not only this school district, but the entire, our continuum down in the south with Jeanette Altman. We have to build this workforce for not only this phase, but for future phases. Our legal teams, our engineering teams, I know DePaul is here, I know Edward Clouders is here, our legal team at Haynesworth Sinclair Boyd, they did a fantastic job in keeping us on task and keeping us set where we can stay ahead of schedule. And I know John Cross and I have been talking about that schedule constantly with AESC, and right now I think we're ahead. So that's always good. Duke Energy, I can't thank the partners of Duke Energy. This massive transmission line that runs through is critical to the development of the future of Eastern Florence as well as the areas in and around. I can't thank the Duke partners enough because it's so important. Dominion Energy, gas, the city with the water and sewer. We literally, at full build-out, will be pulling more water from the city of Florence than the Niagara bottling plant that bottles water. Pretty amazing. Our Florence County partnership. We have 31 members, and of that, we have 6 ex officio members. We also have our Progress Board, which is our private sector arm, that are critical. And I know Rocky is going to talk about the power of partnerships with Jill Lewis. The importance of our executive committee. We have 5 members that serve graciously of their time. With Rocky as our chairman, our executive committee is phenomenal, and one of the main reasons that we are here today, and I can't thank them enough. To those that have helped pull off today's event, Clearly Wilson High School, the Clayco team. Bob Clark, I know you're here, the founder of Clayco. Your team has been spot on. Really looking forward to working with them. Our emergency services, how about that? It's very important. Thank you, TJ Joy, and of course Sam Brockington with our fire and rescue units. But even more importantly, I want to thank Moore Farms Botanical Gardens, because that emergency is very important at an event of this scale. So thank you, Moore Gardens. Now, if you've missed anyone, I'm sure I did, I do apologize, and we can hopefully get reminded and pick up towards the end. But I'm now going to introduce, in my opinion, the best Secretary of Commerce that we have had in modern history. Since June 21, in just 2 years, we have had phenomenal growth. Just in 22, we had $10.27 billion that have announced in our state, and it's phenomenal. Governor, I commend you for hiring the team. By finding that talent, and then the General Assembly providing the resources to fund that talent, we are having the economic development of a lifetime. And that has a lot to do with our Governor McMaster. Lightsey and I went to California in the pandemic chasing projects. And I'm going to give you a little colorful story. He is a great man to travel with. You always say, if you know a man that can play golf well and honest, and he travels well, he is. We were leaving a meeting, and before we turned around, he had gotten in the back of the car. And we were like, Mr. Secretary, you need to get up in the front. He goes, oh no, we're a team. And when you travel like that, you get to know everybody, and that is the faith that he puts in his people. It is the simple things that make that leadership so much better than our other state competition. Secretary Lightsey is a native of our state. He's married with 2 adult children, and we want to give him a very warm Florence County welcome, and thank you again for being here.
Well, thank you very much, Greg, for that kind introduction. It is probably better that Greg traveled with me than he played golf with me. I'll be honest with you, he might not have the same opinion if he had played golf with me. It is great to be here, and just let me say on behalf of the South Carolina Department of Commerce, it is great to celebrate with you guys. Greg was absolutely right. This is a team game, and this project has been an incredible work of teamwork from the very beginning to work it with the Mullises and with the Florence folks at all the different levels, our team at Commerce. It has been quite a journey to get us to this point. So we are here to celebrate this step with you guys, and we look forward to coming back for many more celebrations. Just from the state perspective, let me say very briefly that this is an incredible moment for our state, because in just a few minutes, we will put the shovel in the ground and we will begin this state's statement that it is part of the transformation of the automobile industry into the future, and that is an incredible thing. The automobile industry is going through its biggest transformation in over 100 years. And we would not be here without the vision of BMW, without the vision of AESC, and we are very grateful for that. We are truly excited about the future of South Carolina in this industry, and we are very excited for Florence and for your local community as you become part of the automobile story for South Carolina. It's now my great pleasure to introduce our governor, whose vision really from the moment I first met with him and we talked about the transformation of the automobile industry, it's really this governor's vision and his support of every step we've taken so far to get us here that has brought us to this point. So it is my great pleasure to introduce Governor Henry McMaster.
Thank you. Be seated, please. I'll be brief. I see we got a whole bunch of people going to speak. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think everybody's on here except the Wilson Tiger. But we just saw enough that we worrying a little bit if we could have enough power for all this. But looking at those young people beating those drums and dancing around, I think we got a lot of energy that ain't been tapped yet. But we'll get to it. Y'all, I'm very pleased to be here, and one reason we get things done so well, has been mentioned, is because we like a big family. And all the people that I've talked to over the years who've come to invest hundreds of millions and billions of dollars into South Carolina say it's all about the people. And we communicate, we collaborate, we cooperate. Many of us have known each other well for years and worked together, and that gives us an advantage over every place else. It's always about the people. And in fact, a lot of us related, and some of we don't know. My mama and daddy were both born in Florence. Bet y'all didn't know that. Mom was born on Cherokee Road, and my daddy on Dargan Street, and they always considered this home, although I've lived in Columbia all my life. But we got a lot of relatives. In fact, I see Cousin Eddie Floyd back there, and I see Mark Bike, and there's Hugh Wilcox, lifelong friends of my parents. In fact, when I got elected elected Attorney General, Julia Wilcox, Mark's wife, said that she thought we might be cousins. And then I got elected Lieutenant Governor. He said, no, I'm pretty sure we are. I got elected governor. She told everybody, hands down, got it in writing. We are cousins. I'll be brief. Gene Leatherman, glad to see you here. This and many other things would not be happening without Hugh Leatherman, who was the bull elephant of politics in South Carolina at that State House, and got things done. Often they happen before you know it, and you didn't know how, and it was because you could always know that Hugh was involved with it. But we have a lot of talent, and we're going to make use of it. I'll just to recite a few things. In 2022. We announced, and this is through the Department of Commerce, there are a lot of other businesses growing as well. We announced 120 projects that created over 14,000 new jobs with, as Greg had said, $10.27 billion in new capital investment so far this year. We're up to about 5.3 billion. I mean, we're really all on a roll. And it all depends on a number of things, and one of them is the education and training of our people. We have the culture, we have it in us, we have the style, we have the attitude, but we have to have the education and training. And two of those in this part of the state that are leaders for the whole state are here, and I'd ask them to stand up because it's going to rest on their shoulders, and that's Tim Hardy of the Technical College System. Where'd Tim go? Tim, would you stand, please? There he is. Tim Hardy and Fred Carter, Francis Marion University. If you stand, let's give them a hand. Thank you, gentlemen. To be very brief, we saw this. In fact, it was Hugh Leatherman when Harry came to join us a couple of years ago. We went to see Hugh, and Hugh Leatherman said, "What do we need to do to get ready for electric vehicles?" So we started getting ready, and in October of last year, we had the first electric vehicle summit in the United States. Had people from all over the United States, had governors from all over the place up in Greenville, and we put together a task force. It'll be headed by Commerce, but participated with the Department of Transportation, the Office of Regulatory Staff, everyone that has any part of the electric vehicle project or the work is represented in a team that's working together as a one-stop shop for those who want to do that kind of business in our state, and it's working. And this Friday, we're going to have something else. We're having an electric power summit. How much power do we need? Where we go get it from? There's some new reactors going online in Georgia, just across the river. We lost two, as you know, just recently in the Midlands. But we're going to have power for all this. Now, we're following the market. We're not making the market, but we're following the market. But we got to be ready, and we got to be ready to move. We are also, you might be interested, the way I see it is our future, our success depends on three main pillars of our success, and that's our educational strength, our economic strength, and our environmental strength. And all three of those pillars are wrapped together like the roots of a tree. If one's missing, the others two can't hold it up. So keep your eyes on what's happening, because we have a beautiful state. We've been blessed with cultural and natural heritage that no other state can even touch. And we're going to protect that all. At the same time, we're going to push this economy. We're going to have announcements like this and others. Maybe not all of them going to be this big, Jeff, but we're going to have a lot of them. And people are coming from all over to South Carolina. We're also working on a water plan to find out how much we have, where it is, where it's coming from, where it's going, where we're going to get more, what we're going to do with it, and how we're going to keep it from messing up, including whatever's happening with the tides and whatever's happening in the rivers. We want to be able to fish and hunt and all those kind of things, walk in the woods. And ladies and gentlemen, if you can't find peace and happiness in the forests and fields of South Carolina, you just have to wait till you get to heaven, because it ain't anywhere else on earth like it is right here. So let me finish up. I'll say, if it's going to happen anywhere in the country, it's going to happen here first, and it's going to happen here fast. So be sure to tell the children, always be proud of South Carolina, because this is the best place in the whole world to live, work, and raise a family. Thank you. I have a present for Jeff. I told him when we were standing over there, I said, "I got a present for you." And he said, "Well, last time he came by, he brought me a bottle of liquor." See, he didn't have a present for me. And I said, "Yes, you did. Look at all this. That's your present." So here's the South Carolina state flag, Palmetto State. We're proud of it. Want you to be proud of it. We're proud to be your friend.
Thank you, Governor.
Thank you, sir.
All right, well, good morning, everyone. What a great day to be in the Palmetto State, the PD region, and the beautiful city of Florence. Today's an exciting milestone for AESC and a day of gratitude for everyone that helped us get to this point. I'd like to thank Governor McMaster and Secretary Lightsey for their kind words, and also recognize them as leaders and great ambassadors of the state of South Carolina. Your dedication and hard work and continuing support from both you and your staff has been tremendous in getting us to this point, and we couldn't have done it without you, so thank you. I also want to acknowledge that this project would not be possible without the tireless work of many of the staff of the state of South Carolina, many of whom are with us today and some that were unable to join us. I also want to recognize our partner, BMW, already an important resident of South Carolina and whose actions have spurred us to develop this site. Finally, I thank the innovative local leaders here, both from Florence County and the City of Florence, such as Mayor Teresa Myers-Irvin, County Council Chair Willard Doherty, Florence County Economic Development Partnership Chair Rocky Pierce, and Greg Robinson, Florence County Economic Development CEO, whose staff have shown us so much support in getting to this point and also helped plan today's event. It is my pleasure to be here today to mark what is a momentous day for AESC in the U.S. But more importantly, I'm honored to mark what I believe is an important day for South Carolina, its economy, and above all, the people of Florence. Today, we're not just breaking ground, we're breaking barriers, forging new paths, and creating a brighter future for sustainable energy right here in Florence. South Carolina is home to 500 automotive companies and is the #1 exporter of passenger vehicles and also the #1 producer of tires in the United States. So our decision to invest in South Carolina was an easy one. The automotive sector in South Carolina already employs over 72,000 South Carolinians and also has a very strong skilled workforce. So those are some of the main reasons that we chose to invest here, and South Carolina is prepared for this project. Today, batteries are fast becoming a strategically important industry, powering the United States' move to electric vehicles, and importantly for South Carolina and Florence, powering the economy and jobs. AESC's $810 million investment in a brand new, state-of-the-art, 30-gigawatt-hour factory will provide over 1,100 new, high-value, future-proof jobs for the people of Florence. We'll be utilizing about 500 acres to the left of me, and our whole plant will be powered by 100% renewable energy sources led by our partners at Duke Energy and Dominion Energy. The operational details are one thing, but what makes me most excited about our investment is what it means for this local community. The jobs we will create here in Florence will further shape the region and will serve as a hub of creativity. South Carolina already has the resources in place through its partnership with the SC Technical College system via Ready SC to support workforce training and recruiting, and with the South Carolina Department of Employment and Workforce, which provides worker training and employment opportunities within the state. With a strong international footprint, the Palmetto State has consistently been among the top in the nation for attracting jobs through foreign direct investment on a per capita basis, recognized by multiple economic publications for its pro-business climate. Every one of our future employees, from production and manufacturing to working in maintenance, management, and support functions, will be part of putting Florence at the forefront of this country's fastest growing industry, where we will shape the landscape of clean energy, lead the way in battery technology, and pave a path to a more sustainable future. The U.S. is already experiencing double-digit growth year over year for electric vehicle sales. Many forecasts predict this to dramatically increase over the next few years, and here in Florence, South Carolina, we're going to play a critical role in making them. We're extremely grateful for the level of support that Governor McMaster and the local region have shown us to get us to this important point, which highlights the strength of our enduring partnership and shared ambition to be national leaders in the e-mobility transformation in the United States. The entire AESC company and I very much look forward to continuing working with all of you on this journey together. As Secretary Lightsey let me know, You can't have AESC without SC. Onward to the future ribbon cutting. Thank you.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome. Governor, I got to shake your hand. It's always good to have you in Florence County because I know good things that happen when you're here. Secretary Lightsey, it's always a pleasure to have you here. We thank y'all for coming here and supporting us. Jeff, we're looking forward to the future with you and everything that you provide. We thank you for that. The rest of our staff, Greg, everyone else. Today is a momentous day in Florence County. January 2020, Florence County Council got together, and gentlemen, if you don't mind, would y'all stand up, please? I want people to see Florence County Council. Let's see here. Wayman? I want you to know that I have the privilege of serving with a selfless group that only cares about one thing, moving Florence County forward. A lot of them are like me. I've lived my entire life in Florence County, and we love Florence County, and all we want to do is see Florence County grow. In January of 2020, we passed a $22 million bond to begin economic development. I was told I was crazy. I don't think so. This is fruits for it. What I missed today, though, is that because two people called me. One was serving with me on council, William's father, James Schofield, and was very excited about what we were doing then. Hugh called me. Willard, that was bold. I like it. I wish the two of them were here today, but I know they're watching from up above. But what they contributed to this county and what they contributed to this state is unbelievable, and this is part of a product of what they have done. This has been a whirlwind tour of trying to put this project together. And I want to tell you, every step of the way, the teamwork has been unbelievable. I applaud the mayor and the city of Florence for what they've done with the water and their public works. We have to have that for this project to go. I applaud the county officials that we have, that everything they've done. Mr. Smith was on board from the start with when he was our thing. I applaud him. And Mr. Yoakum is on board with us now. Florence County is going to move forward. We understand that Florence County is the pearl of the PD. And without Florence County moving forward, the rest of the PD is going to be stagnant. Not only do we bring along economic growth, we're also interested in bringing more education to our area. We have Francis Marion College and President Carter here. We have Dr. Ford here. Those two institutions, Florence Darlington Tech and Francis Marion, are going to play an important part in providing the workforce for our economic growth. That's exciting because that means they're going to grow also. That's a good thing for our area. I love to see growth. Some of y'all may know I'm in agriculture, and a lot of times they say, well, you know, anybody in agriculture doesn't like to see growth because it changes their life. I've been a firm believer that change is always imminent, and there's nothing wrong with change as long as it's done the correct way. What we're doing in the correct way. And it's been a teamwork approach. It started from the start when I met the Mullises. I got to Paul over here of what he does with engineering, what they brought to us was wonderful. Greg, I can't say enough about what Mr. Robinson's done and his staff at Economic Development. Rocky, it's been a pleasure to work with you on everything we've done. I mean, Jill, President, it's been amazing, the teamwork that's happened. Ladies and gentlemen, this is just one step closer to seeing this facility come to fruition. And when it does, not only is that, it's going to bring suppliers and other things to our area. I may not see it in my lifetime, but I do know in the future that this whole economic development is going to feel. We're going to have suppliers, we're going to have everything else. This area is the next area in the state that's going to develop. It's going to have to happen. Greenville and Spartanburg are filling. Charleston's filling. Everybody's around them is doing it. Horry County's homes, it's got the beach. That's what it's selling. Well, what's Florence County going to sell? We have I-95, we have I-20. We've got great people. We got some of the finest people, not only in the state, but in this America, in the world, that care about other people. Our friendliness, that's what's going to appeal to other people coming here. The work ethic that we can present, I don't know about y'all, but I've always had to work for everything I've had. And I enjoy work because it doesn't hurt. And that's what we're going to get. We got a company coming that's going to pay a fair wage that gives someone a reward for good work ethic. And Jeff, we look forward to that happening. Not only on this, but we hope to further this facility here, looking forward to hopefully it growing even larger than it is now. We want it to be a tremendous success because we want them to succeed as well as we want to succeed. We want everybody to reap the benefits. Robert, your district in Darlington County mostly, we want Darlington County to succeed. It's going to help everyone. Just think, if this park is filled out with the railroads and our Florence East, what that will mean for the Dillon Inland Port. This thing can just spill over to several areas, and the growth that can tentacle out from here will be unbelievable. People will not recognize Florence County in 10 years when it comes to economic development. And we're so proud to have y'all here. We're so proud to partner with y'all. AESC USA, we're just so proud to have y'all here. We look forward to the first batteries coming out of the plant. That's going to be the big thing. And I want to thank everybody, the landowners and everybody else that helped us make this possible, because without other folks in this town, it wouldn't have happened. And I'm so proud of Florence County. I'm so proud of Florence. And I'm proud of the men I serve with on county council, because I do know them. I see them, quite often. I know their hearts, and they truly care and love Florence County. And this would not be possible without a unified council seeking to move Florence County forward in economic growth. And I thank y'all, ladies and gentlemen, I thank y'all for being here today. Y'all have a blessed day. Next, I'd like to introduce the Reverend Wayman Mumford. I served with Wayman now for 11 years on county council, and it's been a pleasure to serve with him each and every day. I know Wayman is a man of faith. I know Wayman is a man who likes to get things done. And Wayman, I'm so excited that this plant is being located in your district. And with that, I would like for you to come forward and say a few words.
Thank you, sir. Good morning. We greet you in the name of our Lord and Savior, Jesus the Christ. We've been here quite a while. Let us bow in prayer. Dear God of all knowledge, you know all things, all thoughts, all circumstances, all events, all words. You have known them from eternity past. You knew all about each one of us before we were born. Before you, we are transparent. Nothing is hid from you. You know our strength and weaknesses. You know our hopes and despair. You know our dreams and their shattering. You know our caring and our selfishness. Mere sense of your all-knowingness change the way we feel, think, and act. These and all other blessings we ask in the name that is above every name, Jesus Christ our Savior. And all of your people said amen. I want to say to each of you, and I'm very proud, God has been mighty good to me. And just to be here with this beautiful crowd brought tears to my eyes. I want to thank our governor for being here. And we can do all things but fail if we just set our minds to it. This is a wonderful crowd that's here today. And I just hope and pray that this kind of crowd will continue to flourish. thank you for being here. This is my 33rd year on County Council. I have been blessed beyond measures. I've had a lot of help on the way. But I want to say to you that if you do what's right, the Lord will make a way for each one of us. I have thoroughly enjoyed working with our chairman and all of the other members of council. Just had a great time. This is a great site. Graduated from Wilson High School. This is the new Wilson High, but it was an older Wilson High. You can look at my hair and tell that. But this is God's country, and we've had a wonderful, wonderful ride during my 33 years. And not only that, but just for some of you may not know that I spent 25 years in law enforcement, retired as police chief in Florence. And I've had a wonderful, wonderful career. Didn't have to use my weapon. And the blessed thing, no one used a weapon on me. Thank each of you for coming. This is a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful place to stay and live and just enjoy yourself. Buc-ee's is another location not far from here, and they're part of us. And so I recognize them and all of the other businesses that we have. But thank you so much for just allowing me just to say a word. Be blessed.
Good morning, Florence, South Carolina. Giving honor to our stage guests, and especially to our governor, welcome to our great area of Florence, South Carolina. And to follow behind a man of God, thank you for that prayer. First of all, I'd like to welcome you here and to acknowledge the significance of this day. I would ask that our Florence City Council and any city staff please stand to be recognized. Now, not only that, I want to tell you one thing about Florence you may have not recognized yet. We have so much potential. I want you to know this is just the beginning. We decided that we were going to move Florence forward. And when we stated that, we said Florence. We did not limit ourselves because, as Reverend Mumford always made me realize, he says, the city sets in the county. And so when I need things, I know to be able to let the county know the city sits in the county, so we need to work together. When I think about this day, we established a protocol of all those who worked so hard to make this happen. But to Denise and Mike, I have got to specifically acknowledge you. And I think about the day when I actually first got to meet you. And Mike, we were there, and I came in. You have to hear the story, y'all. I'm a registered nurse. So the day they were supposed to have the meeting, it was supposed to start at 1:30. They moved it to 1 o'clock. I am a unit nurse. I had things arranged so I could get off and be there well in time for 1:30. They moved it to 1. So the nurse who was working with me, she so happened to come in early, so we gave our reports. I went into the locker room, changed from my white uniform to my nice suit, got there, and just as I was entering the door, they were starting to acknowledge who they were. Mike told me, so you're late. I said, no, you're early. I told him, I am a nurse, and I had to get out my uniform to put on this suit to come meet you. So I always remember that day, and I would have never imagined that day leading us to be where we're at now. And I think about it, it's so important because when we think about the potential that Florence has, I look at the young people from Wilson as they performed. And I don't know about you, but I enjoyed that music. And I looked at those drummers as they swooned, and I thought about, but I knew I couldn't do it because my left knee still bothers me now. But I say that because when you think about we're sitting right across from a high school with so much invested into STEM, now you have a futuristic plant that is bringing in the future of the auto industry here to Florence, South Carolina. You can't beat something like that I think about the fact that we hashtag moving Florence forward, hashtag stronger together, hashtag better together. Those things are short ways of saying that the city and the county of Florence, we are a diverse community. But most important, we are aiming to be an inclusive community. It's not enough just to be diverse. We have got to be inclusive in all that we do. That is the future of our whole country, more important, of our whole nation. Our educational system has been acknowledged here. I want to say I'm a product of Florence School District 1, Florence Darlington Tech, Francis Marion University. We have got the top healthcare centers and qualified clinics here in Florence, South Carolina. We can educate you. We can take care of your health. We can have a home built for you. And now we have got a magnificent place for you to work at, being adding to what we have here in Florence. Florence is such a beautiful place. The city of Florence is the hub of the pearl of the county of the PD. And that means we're the center. And how we move, how we succeed, affects everyone around us. So that means we have got to continue to work together. Florence is a gem that so many have slept on. Yes, Senator Letterman was a big voice for us here in Florence, South Carolina. But we're not going to sleep on his legacy. We're going to build on it. I think about the district where we're sitting right now, and I would be remiss if I did not acknowledge our past leadership from our past mayors to where we're at today. But I also think about two council members who preceded me who have left us, Councilman Billy D. Williams and Councilman Ed Robinson. Those who have pushed on the forefront for Florence for years to make sure that we are diverse. Florence, I want to commend everyone here today, whether you're from the city, the county, or surrounding. This is what we can do when we come together and we work together. If you hail under the umbrella of Florence, you should be proud of yourselves today, because we're just marking the beginning of where we're going. This is not the end. This is literally the first mark in the ground for where we're going. There are greater and better things to come, and I'm calling that out to our governor, that you have a lot of places that you can work with, but I promise you, Florence, if you want to flourish, we are the place for you to invest in. And if you invest in us, we will be sure that we lift up South Carolina so others can see the greatness of our state. Once again, to everyone, protocol being established already, thank you. And for everyone, if your name was not called and you're here, you are part of history, and you are the reason why we succeed, not by name, but by person, better together, stronger together, because we are moving Florence forward, because we've got so much potential. Thank you.
Good afternoon. You know, Greg is a stickler for detail, and so we have an itinerary, and we also have a run of show. And so these are the things that he's instructed us to do. And one of the things on this itinerary here is a limit on speakers' time. And so I said, let me find out what my limit is. So I looked down here, and it said, Governor, unlimited. Secretary Lightsey, unlimited. Jeff, unlimited, on. I said, where are me? So I went down there and looked, said, Rocky Pierce, 2 minutes. So I'm about through, but I do want to say a few things, though. Governor, you know, I checked Ancestry.com the other day, and I think I'm related to I wish I was. But, you know, Secretary Lightsey, I have to say this, too. You know, he has been to Florence more than every other Commerce Secretary in the state of South Carolina in the last 6 months. He's here all the time. I had a friend ask him, and he said, well, I saw, you know, Commerce Secretary Lightsey. Is he looking to buy a house over here? I said, I hope so, but I don't think so. But we're glad to have you. You know, working with AESC has just been a joy. You know, the word I kind of tried to figure out, I said, what could I say about AESC? And enthusiasm just kept coming to me. You know, enthusiasm You know, if you're very enthusiastic, you know what you're doing, you know what your product is, and you want to convince others, you know, of what you have and what you're going to provide them is good. So interesting, because my father, I'm in the family business, and my father found this poem about enthusiasm, and it was 6 paragraphs in talking about enthusiasm. But the last paragraph was, upon the plains of hesitation, bleached the bones of countless millions who, on the threshold of victory, sat down to wait, and waiting they died. I can say with the county council and the city council working together, they didn't hesitate to support this project. Every time we went to them, every time we asked them for something, it was unanimously supported. So I commend them for that. It's made a big difference. You know, the other thing I want to mention is we have a great city council and a great county council. The majority of members of the city council are Democrat. The majority members of county council are Republican. And yet when this project came, there was no partisanship discussion or anything like that. They did what they were elected to do, is to make sure that everything they did was good for our people. And Governor, you said we do have the people, and that's who we care about. So there's no politics in this. This is when you believe in what you want to do and you're enthusiastic about it, you can make great things happen. I do want to say, Jill Lewis, Jill, will you stand, please? She's not tall, but she's mighty powerful, I'm going to tell you that. You know, progress, what we have here in Florence County is a public-private partnership. We've got the county, but we have the private sector that raises money to provide benefits for economic development. Florence County Progress contributes over $400,000 a year to Florence County in the Partnership for Economic Development Purposes. And her bold leadership is what's made things happen, and we just want to share that with you too. So Jill, thank you so much for all you do. And you know, I got to thank our staff. You know, Greg Robinson hasn't even been here a year yet, and he's brought this kind of project to us. Mike, Denise, thank y'all for all that y'all have done for us. But our staff have risen to the occasion, and I can't tell you enough good things about them. So Greg, thank you for all your hard work. Stephanie, thank you. Frida, thank you. Debbie, Kim, let's give them a round of applause too for what they did. That's 1 minute and 45 seconds.
So as we conclude, I want to thank everybody again for being here, family, friends, industry representatives. It's been a pleasure. We're now going to exit stage left to take a number of photos. If Stephanie is near, there she is. She is going to direct our group with a series of photos, so please pay attention to Stephanie because we have a number of photos with city, county, educational. So we will have a media scramble immediately to the future site of AESC so that the media can ask the governor and the team some critical questions. Again, thank you for being here, your time, and your efforts to support economic development in the state of South Carolina and Florence County. Thank you.